Just a couple of silly friends talking about serious stuff.
Welcome back to Two Friends React. I'm Enough.
And I'm Ed. Welcome back.
And we're going to head right back into part 2 of Ratatouille.
When last we left off, Remy was on his way back to visit his family for the first time since he got separated with them. And the head chef was on to linguine, but couldn't prove it. So, let's get into it.
Yeah.
This is so cute. The little dancing rats. I love it.
You're not staying?
I mean, eventually a bird's gotta leave the nest.
We're not birds. We don't leave our nests. We make them bigger. Maybe you're not a rat at all.
Oh.
All we do is take, Dad. I'm tired of taking. I want to make things.
Talking like a human.
Who are not as bad as you say.
This is what happens when a rat...
Who the heck strings up rats like that? That's not a thing people do to advertise a rat catching business. Jesus.
We must live.
That is so disturbing.
We look
Good
out
Lord.
for our own kind, Remy. When all is said and done, we're all we've got. This is the way things are. You can't change nature.
Change is nature, Dad. The part that we can influence.
So this is actually a pretty heavy subject to tackle in a kids movie. The idea of, like, if you are part of an oppressed group and that is actually in danger from others, should you just cut yourself off from them and hide from them like the dad wants? Or should you try to make inroads and create a world that we can all live in together? And I don't think the dad is wrong. I mean, he literally just showed a window full of his dead people. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't think there's a right or wrong answer necessarily. I think a lot of it depends, like, contextually and on, like, what type of level of hatred we're talking about. Are we talking about fear? Are we talking about hatred? Are we talking about manipulate? Like, I just think it's a very heavy and very difficult topic, and one that is very difficult to put in a kids movie, because if you don't do it well, it just comes across as sort of lazy or like overly simplistic that doesn't do it justice, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I'd like to hear from our viewers, from other people, because, you know, here I am, a straight white dude talking about, this topic. I mean, I am Jewish and we're not exactly welcome in a lot of places, but nonetheless, for the most part, when I go out into the street, I don't have to deal with that. So I'd want to hear from communities that are more impacted. So if any of our viewers want to sound off on this, because it is such a difficult topic, and one that deserves proper attention, and more than is the purview of this video, but we'd still love to hear from you.
Yeah.
But why does he have to pretend to be awake here?
I don't know.
Like, a very easy explanation would have been the main chef made him stay all night. Like,
yeah.
Audrey would have known. She's credited as Colette, but I thought they called her Audrey at one point.
What? What, you can't tell me? You get me to teach you a few kitchen tricks to dazzle the boss, and then you blow past me? I thought you were different. I wanted you to succeed. I liked you. My mistake.
This relationship and her character both needed a lot more development.
Yeah.
I would have followed your advice to the ends of the earth because I love you. Or advice.
But...
It's so awkward.
Don't do it. I have a secret. This tiny, little... a tiny chef who tells me what to do.
Wow. Yeah. A tiny little, like, there's a bit of risque humor in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my.
What the
No! Oh, I hate this so much.
What?
Kissed her non-consensually, but because it was a good kiss, she didn't pepper spray him. Like, she was gonna pepper spray him, but because it's a good kiss, like, that is such a harmful, dangerous...
That did not make sense. Also, why does that typewriter look like a Cyberman?
I love it. Also, I love this. It's literally a coffin. His room is designed like a coffin. Did you see that?
I see.
Yeah, it is literally a coffin and not subtle. What a poor design for a room. Like, you can't put proper furniture in it because of the, like...
That is where I left it. That was my last...
I mean, look at him. They couldn't make him any more villainous. I kind of love his design.
Mm-hmm.
They're even doing the whole shooting him from below so he can tower over to make him seem even more evil and gangly and nasty.
Yeah.
He kind of has Frollo vibes, actually.
Definitely has Frollo vibes.
He's toying with my mind like a cat with a ball.
This is something we've talked about before, the idea that a nasty person assumes other people are going to be nasty because he himself can't imagine someone just being kind or sweet or innocent.
Mm-hmm.
So if he just assumed Linguini was kind of a doofus, he'd win. Like, if he just took Linguini at his word, he would win. But because he can't, it's not just that he's like a dumb movie villain. He literally can't because he would never. So the idea of the villain being their own undoing by assuming others are out to get them is something that happens in real life. Like, that is what happens to fascist dictators. You know, they remove all of the competent people because they're afraid of them. Because they would seize power, so the other people must as well.
The fine line between balancing that sort of over-paranoia with underestimating people.
I can't fire him. He's getting attention. If I fire him now, everyone will wonder why.
The hair sample you gave me. I had to send them back to the lab.
Why?
Because the first time it came back identified as rodent hair.
There it is, the rodent hair.
It's better.
Wear a helmet, kids. If you're operating a motor vehicle like that, or a bicycle, wear a helmet. I recently had a rather bad electric scooter accident, but I was wearing my helmet, so I was okay, thankfully.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of friends in motorcycle accidents. Bad ones.
Here's the scene where he realizes that, oh, maybe people are bad. I want to like this movie a lot because there's so many good things, but there's already also a lot of like obvious tropes and certain things they're really not doing well, like Colette's whole character, really. Or how they're treating Colette's character, I should say.
How you doing?
You told them? Emil, that's exactly what I said not to do.
Yeah, I knew there was going to be a rats invading the restaurant portion. I assume is where this is going.
Yeah.
Is there a problem over here?
No, there is not.
You could have said, yes, there is a problem.
Fancy pants handing out deals. You think I'd be hocking barbecue over here? A microwave burrito? Running rude.
Okay, I kind of like all of these, like, I love the animation style on them. It's, oh, you know what it's reminiscent of? It reminds me of the new trend with like Spider-Verse and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie and Puss in Boots with the sort of 3D hand-drawn animated hybrid style, you know?
Why would Linguini be filed with your will?
This used to be my office.
How could you not know this?
I am a figment of your imagination.
I like the whole acknowledging that, yeah, it is just a figment.
No, don't!
Why would he not just burn it, right? There's no other evidence of it.
Yeah.
Like, we know he's a bad person who's willing to lie and cheat, and he doesn't want anyone to find out. And the only one who knows is the lawyer, who's also quite unscrupulous. So just burn it. Oh,
Ow.
wear a helmet, kids. Good God, please wear a helmet. I really do like the fast-paced animation when he's moving like a rat through the streets and the trees.
Mm-hmm.
No. You know, for 2007, the water was very well animated. Just in general, that was a wonderful sequence. That was a very fun, action-heavy sequence.
Yeah.
Get out of my office.
He's not in your office. You are in his.
No! What? Okay, first of all, wine doesn't burn like that. It's not high enough alcohol content.
Yeah.
And second of all, that's still good food.
Yeah.
Like, people need food. What the hell?
Yeah.
Okay, except if the restaurant were struggling that much, they'd probably be in some degree of debt. How would he be able to like afford like a giant house in Paris? Like, it's not like there's been a ton of time to turn things around, right?
Sure. I guess there is more to the estate than just the restaurant.
I'm also overthinking it, and the whole point is that this is the everything is wonderful moment before everything comes crashing down moment.
What is the secret to your genius?
Secret? You want the truth? I am Gusteau's son.
Wait, so earlier on Remy didn't want him to say anything, and now he does? Like,
Colette.
What?
Like,
Something stuck in my teeth.
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense for the character. He wanted him to be secret, but now he wants the credit?
Yeah. His feelings have changed.
Awfully quickly. Oh, then again, it has been some time, and he's starting to get angry about all the rats, and now he's got all the stresses, and he's not getting into the credit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now they're at the top of the hierarchy, so it's not like there's as much reason to be hiding.
Yeah. Such a villain entrance. I love it. It's so out of place for this movie, but I absolutely love it.
Monsieur Linguine.
Oh, hello.
And they did the exact same sort of like looking up shot again. Also, does he have fangs? He has fangs. He has literal vampire fangs. And his office was in a coffin-shaped room.
And you've been playing without an opponent.
And he's incredibly pale with the dark eyes. Like, they're really just like, this guy's a vampire, period.
Slow for someone in the fast lane.
And you're thin for someone who likes food.
Oh.
The only one that matters here. Colette knows how to cook too, you know. Bow!
Can I say hello?
They're doing the whole third act conflict between the main characters, you know?
Puppet controlling guy.
The rat is the cook.
Oh, I've talked about this in other reviews. There's going to be a liar revealed thing, which I don't like. It's so overplayed.
It's like you're his fluffy buddy or something.
I like that the big rat has like a clip on his ear, which I assume means he was a lab rat, and that's why he's so much bigger than all the others.
Oh, this is great, son. An inside job, huh? I see the appeal.
And like so many movies, it's all going bad because people aren't communicating well, and they're now actively trying to hurt each other because of it. And I know this movie is already 16 years old, but in 2007, that was an old trope.
Little chef. Oh, hey, little chef. It didn't seem right to leave things the way that we did, so...
Okay, he's apologizing. That's sweet. Rat swarms are actually really creepy and scary.
Yeah.
I trusted you. Get out, you and all your rat buddies, and don't come back or...
I really liked his little speech, his apology. I thought was like, that was a perfect apology. I meant like, here's the explanation why I was misbehaving. It was unacceptable. I'm going to do better. That's how you apologize. You acknowledge what you did wrong. I believe it's okay to offer like why you were wrong, but now how are you going to correct it?
Yeah.
That is how you give an apology.
You're not coming?
I've lost my appetite.
But it sort of is undercut because immediately after we find out that, like, oh, conflict. It didn't give time for the apology, a great apology, to sink in.
Really shouldn't be here during restaurant hours. It's not safe.
The key, my friend, is to not be picky. Observe.
No, wait!
Oh no! Sure, he took away a star last time he reviewed this place.
It's odd that we have two sort of antagonists who have entirely different roles and points. It's not like one is the henchman. They're completely different antagonists with different goals in mind.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not terribly common in Disney movies.
Yeah. The Little Mermaid comes to mind because her dad almost works as another antagonist who's trying to keep her from what she loves, while Ursula is promising to give it to her, but actually tricking her into giving things up.
What about viewers? Can you think of other Disney movies where, like, there were two antagonists with completely, like, different plot lines and different goals, not just both to, like, you know, ego is just takes joy in destroying others, you know, as an egotistical critic, whereas the sous chef just wants his restaurant. The chef just wants his restaurant and his power back.
I know who I am! Why do I need you to tell me? Why do I need to pretend?
But you don't, Remy. You never did.
And so here's the whole, like, self scene. What's it called? Like, where the character sort of... Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. They almost killed him.
Yeah.
I love you guys!
It's the whole, like, we had the all is lost moment where Ego's there and he had, you know, Remy was captured, and now they're doing the whole triumphant reunion. And I know it's like a lot of movies have these tropes, but Disney has this specific trope and this specific pacing a lot. And I
like
know.
that the family came to support.
Yeah.
Make them order something else. Tell them we're all out.
Or he never wrote his recipes down.
Just tell us what you did.
I don't know what I did.
We need to tell the customers something.
Also, like, this very talented woman can't come up with an interesting dish.
Don't touch him.
Thanks for coming back, little chef.
I like that he calls him Little Chef and not by his name, because, like, how the heck would he know his name?
He's the one behind these recipes. He's the cook. The real cook.
Also, can we talk about that little piece of chin fuzz Linguini has? I don't know why. I just think it's cool. It's an unnecessary touch that the animators put effort into, and I always appreciate those little touches.
We can be the greatest restaurant in Paris, and this rat, this brilliant little chef, can lead us there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds completely batshit insane.
Good. No more hitting.
Yeah. That is great lighting and a great shot. The way they sort of, like, framed him in the scene with the lighting. That was great. Why didn't the mom tell Cousteau that he had a son? Because Cousteau seems like a very nice guy. I mean, then again, we actually don't know anything about Cousteau. We only know what he thinks of Cousteau. Maybe Cousteau is actually behind closed doors a real prick. And actually,
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
you know, maybe he's actually kind of abusive and awful. And that's why he tolerated this terrible chef, because it allowed him to have a easily controllable second in command to, like, you know, push his will, as it were.
This really means that much to you?
I think I might actually have a slight phobia of swarms of rats.
You tell us what to do, and we'll get it done.
He washed them. I love that. They did like a quick clean. Kitchen
At least
hygiene.
they thought about that. Not about the rest of it, but they thought about that part.
I mean, again, they've shown Remy washing his hands at least a few times, and so I absolutely love that like they're addressing the hygiene aspect. Oh, that's right. We saw him roller skate for 2 seconds in one scene. And nothing to indicate he could do this, but okay.
Easy with that salt, Meunier. Less salt, more butter. Only use the Nicolette cheese.
And this is where animation is the best medium there is, because you can do all of these ridiculous things with no problems.
Yeah.
Colette, you came back.
Ratatouille. It's a peasant dish.
Why did she come back? She had
Because
no reason to
anyone
come back.
can cook. She saw the book, anyone can cook, and she wanted to uphold his belief.
I missed that. Okay, never mind. That's actually an answer. Fine.
That's so dramatic.
No, I can't breathe.
So many emotions.
I demand to know!
Then who do I thank for the meal?
Notice how they're no longer shooting him looking down and all villainous. He's now being shot much gentler.
You must be the
If
chef.
you wish to meet the chef, you will have to wait until all the other customers have gone.
So be it.
This movie makes very good use of angles and lighting to convey feelings and emotions, and I'm very impressed.
I particularly enjoy the lighting.
But as Linguini explains, Ego's smile disappears. Ego stands, thanks us for the meal, and leaves.
To say that both the meal and its maker have challenged my preconceptions about fine cooking is a gross understatement. Not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere.
It was a great night. The happiest of my life. But the only thing predictable about life is its
What happened to the health inspector?
Once it got out, there were rats in the kitchen. Oh man, the restaurant was closed. Gotta go. Dinner rush.
So everyone finds out about the rats in the kitchen, and they go right back to his restaurant. Well, his new restaurant.
Yeah, I guess they're just better at hiding it this time.
Yeah. And there's also no way they're going to be able to like make the kind of money necessary like to live the life they were living. So I hope they downsized. Oh, that's cute. His little ramp to see, except then people can look through the window and see the rat. It would still be shut down again. People would find the rats. Like,
yeah.
Like, how about they just go home and Remy teaches Colette and Linguini how to cook, and then there's no rats, and it's not a problem.
Yeah. Write down your recipe.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, come on. They're not even just like, yep, rats are here. We know it. You know it. The food's good. Who cares?
Ratatouille!
So that was Ratatouille. Thank you so much for joining us.
I liked the animation a lot, and particularly the lighting, as we mentioned. I think the voice acting was really good.
I love me some Patton Oswalt, as I've made clear many times.
At first, I was a little confused about why there weren't any musical numbers, and then I remembered, oh right, that's why the TikTok musical exists.
I mean, Pixar doesn't. Pixar does. I don't think Pixar does musicals.
Okay. There
I
were
don't
still a
think
lot
so.
of jaunty tunes in there that were fun.
The music was fantastic. There were a few scenes where I really was like, yeah, like the music's enhancing the scene.
Yeah.
And I like that in a movie about a rat chef, there was a lot of action.
Yeah, I think the character development needed work.
Especially Colette's character.
Yeah, all in all, it was a good time. The ending was sweet. I laughed a bunch of times. Yeah, other than character development being kind of weird and like romanticizing violence from women, I think it was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you like what we do, please like the video and comment below and sub to our channel. If you love what we do, please check out the Patreon, link in the description.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Let us know what you thought of this movie and what we should watch next. Bye.
Bye. Take care.